Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford-Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show. This week, Today's Homeowner is helping a Houston homeowner with some flood fixes in the aftermath of flooding from Hurricane Harvey.
We had 50 inches of rain in 4 days.
What do you think so far?
Unbelievable.
John Howard is a retired Houston home builder who constructed this house for his wife Donna almost 20 years ago.
She found it off Country Living magazine, and I drew it and made it work.
Well, I love the style, for one, but I love the property, the quietness, the calmness here.
I was diagnosed in '97 with MS. I was told I couldn't have this kind of house, and I finally just decided I was going to do it and make it handicap accessible, so it is. It was the last major project I physically did myself. I just wanted to build it myself so I could know that I did it.
Several months ago, flooding from Hurricane Harvey surrounded their dream home and created some new challenges for the Howards. I'm sorry to hear about the flooding and some of the problems it caused you here at your house.
We had 50 inches of rain in 4 days, and I always said God nudged me and told me to build up. My house was never in danger from the flooding. It never is.
About the
second or third step there, and I have 7 steps.
We were a lot more fortunate than so many. Even though we had water surrounding our entire house, many people had it completely in the house.
So I understand the water actually was high enough that went over the outside air conditioning units. Were you able to save those?
They dried out, and we got to keep them for a while. You know, they're still working, but...
You patched them for a little while, but now you're going to replace them, and you're going to combine the two into one.
And make its own, because we have a store and a half.
Okay.
Our home is a store and a half. We always had a small one upstairs.
Okay.
Now, you being a builder before, you know all about the selection of air conditioning and heating systems, and I understand you selected a pretty darn efficient one.
It's a top-of-the-line carrier, Infinity Greenspeed. Yeah, it's supposed to help with all the air filtration and humidity.
He has terrible
I have
allergies.
a lot of allergies, like sinus
Yeah.
congestion.
So with the water underneath the house, it really affected the insulation then and caused a problem with that?
Yeah, just with the rising moisture, it got under the house these last 2 years.
Chelsea and I have something figured out for the insulation under the house, an insulation that's resistant to mold and mildew. And I understand you have a project out back that's not quite finished.
Well, it used to have an above-ground pool, and finally a couple of years ago I took it out. I'm straightening out and putting a ramp big enough so I can move certain things from the shop up on my deck if need be.
We're going to tackle that as well and get all of that
It's been
knocked out
going
for you.
on for quite a long time.
That'd be a major help to me, because being in a wheelchair, yeah, it's a real challenge. I've always been just kind of that bullheaded, and I'm going to do it. They tell me I can't, and I'm going to tell them I can.
He'll find a way to do it.
Choosing a contractor to replace the air conditioner was simple enough because Donna works for a local heating and cooling company called Fresh Air Inc. The owner of that company is Sonny Ronconcillo, and when his crew arrives, it looks like a small army invading.
When I saw the trucks coming down the road, I thought, oh my gosh.
The water was about this high, and this unit was 3/4 of the way underwater. Wow. That was the upstairs.
you,
So
okay.
we decided, since I don't use the upstairs anymore that much, we decided not to even worry about this one. We just worried about giving them some cooling right away.
But with water getting on this thing, wouldn't it just short out everything? I think about the electricity and all of the relays and so forth. It just seemed like it would just
normally,
destroy it.
that's exactly what would happen. But John is a builder. He's pretty smart, so he decided to go ahead and turn all the power off.
Oh, I got you.
And he even turned the gas off. So after everything dried, he called us, we came out, and we got the unit operating, but we were talking with John, and we decided to go ahead and
So you went with just a brand new unit. But here's what I wanted to ask you. I thought this was very interesting that you're putting one unit in to replace two. Right. Now you got a 2-story house here. How are you making that work where upstairs and downstairs will remain comfortable?
The ductwork will have to be changed, and we're using motorized dampers.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay, to divert that airflow.
Exactly. Yeah. This unit can go all the way down to 40% capacity. With a special furnace that we have, it's got a variable speed blower. It can adjust the speeds of the blower up to 32 speeds. This unit will also control humidity very good, because if the unit doesn't have to run on high, that means this unit will run at lower speed, longer.
Right.
And then you move more air through the coil and you take more water out.
And bottom line, they're going to save a lot of money on the energy bill.
The units that he had here were like a 8 to 10 SEER, okay? The minimum standard for this part of the country now is 14 SEER. If John would have went with the least expensive units, like single speed units, his savings would have probably only been maybe 20%. But with this green speed, his savings could be 40% and even higher.
A great way to get a head start on the planting season is to start plants from seeds indoors. To accelerate that process, you can make a cloche or a mini greenhouse out of a plastic soda bottle. Start by taking a soda bottle and with a utility knife, cut off the top half of the bottle and save the top. That's important, to leave the screw on top in place. Then you simply plant your seeds as you normally would, a little bit of soil, put the seeds in. These are some vegetables we're going to be planting in the garden eventually, very soon I hope. And then add a little water, just as you normally would. Not too much, just enough to get them started. And then take the top half of the bottle to form that little mini greenhouse and set it right on top. Now put it in a nice sunny window. What happens is the top of the bottle will trap the heat and the moisture, get those seeds started really quickly. And then if it gets too hot, you can always just twist off the cap and let some of that heat escape at night. Of course, you want to put it back on to protect them. And the great thing about this is the bottles come in various sizes, so no matter what size pot you have, you can always find a bottle to fit.
The flooding in Houston last summer after Hurricane Harvey damaged the heating and cooling system of John and Donna's home. So they're replacing the 2 damaged AC units with one new, more efficient one. The heart of that system is this piece of ductwork, which is actually a motorized damper. And inside you have a little flap that will control just the amount of air you want upstairs. So when you turn the thermostat on to a certain temperature that you want upstairs, it'll adjust it by motor and it'll be nice and comfortable.
What the advantages of going to one system is now you don't have to have maintenance on 2 compressors, 2 furnaces, 2 coils, everything doubles. Now it's reduced down to just a condenser, a furnace, and evaporator coil. Since John is in a wheelchair, he cannot walk upstairs anymore. So if he's going to have company, the thermostat is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so he can go ahead and change the temperature from his phone.
Sonny makes all that sound pretty simple, but there are a lot of moving parts to this system. His guys have to remove all of the old equipment and most of the ductwork to make way for this new, more efficient system. While they're busy with that, we decide to take a look at the ramp John started building out back. Well, John, I'll have to say you did a pretty good job in getting it this far, considering you had to do everything in the chair. That's kind of hard to get around here.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but I'm determined. Well, I will tell you I'm determined.
John is very strong-willed, and he always loved a challenge anyway.
It's between my bullheadedness and the finances too, so, you know, it's all plays part in it. You do what you got to do.
Absolutely. Well, you made it pretty wide, I'll have to say that. Are you planning on like driving the car up here or something?
With the flooding the last couple of years, I made it wide enough to be able to get my lawnmower riding tractor up here, and I have a scooter out in the shop. And those are 2 things that we worry about most.
Well, you got a good start on all of this. We'll just kind of follow the same pattern that you have here. When you're taking on a project that's partially completed, the first thing you have to do is really evaluate and assess exactly what you're starting with.
All right, Dad, how is it cutting on sawhorses that are so low?
I tell you what, I like these low sawhorses. I know this must be John's height that he has for his chair since he did so much of the work out here. You know, he was talking about using post hole diggers out here. I can't imagine sitting in a wheelchair digging post holes.
I can't imagine doing it standing up, so that's pretty impressive in my book.
Post hole diggers, mixing concrete, wheelbarrows. I don't know how he did that. Okay,
All
so
right.
you're gonna cut and I'm gonna nail, huh?
Yeah, that sounds, if you can keep up.
You think you can keep up? I need about 45 more of these things.
Maybe I should do the nailing then.
No, you go ahead. Keep them cutting. Just
Okay.
don't cut your fingers.
Thanks.
Now,
Dad.
if this was kiln-dried, pressure-treated lumber, I would have to put a little space between these because there wouldn't be any shrinkage of the wood itself. But this is not. It's got a little bit of moisture in it, so I'm going to butt them up tight, and within just a few months, it'll have the same kind of gap that we have in the original deck.
See, I only like to start races that I know I can win, and I was clearly the winner in this race because Dad always had a pile of deck boards that were waiting to be nailed.
Of course, I could have gone a lot faster nailing the boards in, but I didn't want Chelsea to feel like she was getting behind, so I just kind of paced myself a little.
I mean, just think about it. There's no way for him to finish without me winning. All right, Dad, why did you have me cut these 2x6s?
Those are called stiffeners. So what we're going to do is put them right beside here,
Okay.
and then I've got these deck screws that will screw in
that'll
there,
keep this
screw
from
in
being
there.
so wobbly?
Right, yeah.
If I can't have fun, I don't want to work. But that's why I work with my dad, so I can have fun all the time. Right, Dad? Ha ha ha, you see how it tightened up?
As soon as the decking is complete, we can begin adding the handrails with a little supervision. You know, we have homeowners watching us work all the time, but in this case, John really knows how everything should go together. Did you ever have homeowners hang around watching you?
Yeah, had that. Charging one price for helping, one price for watching. Well, it was hard for me to watch somebody do it, because I wanted to do it. I felt I needed to do it myself, but I didn't want to be the typical homeowner.
Well, you've been pretty good so far. So
tried to
far.
stay out of the way, but
Yeah.
I just,
But I see you wanting to say some
I
things
want
from time to
to
time.
do it myself, and I want to make suggestions, but I'm the homeowner, so.
Well, if you
I
see
know
anything you don't like,
I know the upcharge.
you know what the charge is.
I know that upcharge because I've had to use it myself plenty of times.
There we go.
Awesome, well done.
All right, what do you think?
Well, it looks great, but it's a little different than you probably would normally build handrails.
Yeah, normally we'd have the spindles and all of that, but since John had already started building the rails like that, we just built it the same, and I guess he's comfortable with it rolling up and down around here on the
Yeah,
chair.
that's true.
So, well, let's get everything cleaned up and we'll let John try it out.
All right, awesome.
Now, whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior doing projects around the house, having all of your tools nearby and within reach is essential for getting those projects done quickly and efficiently. You can either use a toolbox or a tool bag, but what I like is right here. This is by Dead On Tools, and this is a nifty little tool pouch. Now, it is compact in size, but don't let that fool you because you can get a lot of tools in here. You've got 12 little holders here that hold your tools vertically. That's a good advantage because you're not having to dig through, say, like your bag to try to find what you're looking for because you can see it. Another thing is it's got a nice handle so that when you sit it down, it stands up straight. It's not going to tip over and dump all of your tools out like sometimes that when you have a tool belt, it does that. Speaking about a tool belt, if you do have to go up a ladder and you need to free your hands up, then all you got to do is slide on the accessory that comes with it, this tool belt, and look, strap it around your waist, and you are ready to go.
We're in Houston, Texas, working on some fixes made necessary by the flooding from Hurricane Harvey. Chelsea and I have just completed the ramp we've been building for retired builder John Howard. All right, John, I hope this matches your vision that you had for it originally.
This is going to work fine. This is exactly what I was picturing.
Good.
First test run.
Yeah.
That's right.
The other ramp, I just had him temporarily throw something up, and Donna, my wife, just didn't like me even going down it if I had to because it was steep.
Chair like that with the batteries probably weighs a good bit.
Yeah, this is about 280 pounds or something like that, 270.
So you think your lawn tractor will go up this thing?
That's my plan. That is great. I love that. Just the way I wanted it.
Good.
Yeah.
And of course, I know you got a fair amount more work to do to tie in all of the handrails, but I guess maybe you've gotten a little rusty on your building, because part of being a builder is ordering materials accurately, and we had a lot of deck boards left over. So I don't know, so you may want to take it back
Oh.
But
You know, it's about a 5-foot piece left, and it's warped, and it's nasty, and
well, that's the only one left, and look how crooked it is.
Yeah.
So it's the reason.
So that's the one.
So you knew.
I
that we were
didn't
gonna-
order that extra 10%. Still got it, I guess.
The replacement of John's old HVAC system is also complete, and the new system is pretty impressive. Chuck, your guys did a great job in putting all of this equipment in here and making it look nice and neat, but you did something here that's really going to help the indoor air quality issue that Donna was concerned about.
Yeah, this is a purifier, air purifier filtering system. What it does is it actually gives us a disposable filter on one side, a pre-filtering and electronic element that charges the particles, captures it, electrocutes it, and kills it.
Your pleated filter there, that's like every 6 months?
Every 6 months.
Yeah, oh, that's
every
great.
6 months. It's tied in with the system on a timer, so it'll remind you. And down on the other end, it is the ultraviolet light system. And what it's doing is it's shining on the coils, and it's killing all the viral and growth and things of that nature.
Okay.
So it's further perpetuating, keeping the ductwork and stuff clean.
Yeah, this is great. When you're putting in a system, you might as well put in this more modern technology to really help on that aspect.
It's the only
of
way
it.
we can control the quality of the air in the house at any degree.
While Chuck shows John how the new smart thermostat operates both zones in the system, Chelsea and I are about to replace some insulation that Harvey washed away.
Nice suit, Dad.
Oh, yeah. How you like this? You remember the last time you had one of these on?
Yeah. When I was buying my house and
Right.
you made me go underneath it and look at it. It can be really empowering to crawl under your house and to see what's actually down there so you know even better how your house works.
Well, you never get the real feel of a house unless you crawl underneath it.
Okay, well, do I have to feel what this house feels like? That being said, it might not be quite as fun to crawl under someone else's house.
No, actually, I'm letting you off the hook. You're going to be the ground crew here,
Okay.
So you need to put your shirt on
Oh,
here.
long sleeves.
Long sleeve shirt. I've been in some really bad crawl spaces. This isn't one of them.
The house is up high enough where most pyramid beam houses, you have to get on your belly and crawl like a snake, where it's a little more comfortable on there anyway.
Still, crawling around on your back, rolling around in the dirt, it's not a lot of fun.
Okay, feed me one. Hey, I'm trying to take a nap in here.
Which side is up? It doesn't matter, does it?
Nope.
Awesome.
It really is pretty easy to install this rock wool insulation because the size is perfect, that it'll squeeze up between the joists, and then you add the tension wires just to make sure it stays there.
I didn't know you knew how to do stuff like this.
Give me another one. Come on, we're in production now.
This rock wool insulation is made from a rock-based mineral fiber, which is moisture resistant, yet vapor permeable. That makes it ideal for this situation because if the insulation gets damp, it will maintain the original performance characteristics after it thoroughly dries. Rock wool also won't wick water, so if rising water contacts the outer surface, it'll drain out and not be absorbed into the body of the insulation. And because it's inorganic, it provides no food source for mold growth. John and Donna have had to face plenty of challenges together, so the ones that Hurricane Harvey threw at their home didn't catch them off guard. Now they've not only replaced their heating and cooling system, they have made it far more efficient and in the process improved the indoor air quality of their home. The new insulation we added will help multiply that efficiency and is better suited to stand up to the hazards of this location. And John's new ramp will give him greater mobility every day.
I will not have to worry about him rolling his chair down it anymore, which I'm very happy about. And the safety factor for when we do have heavy rains, and floods, high water, we know we have an out where we can get certain little things up there and out of the water.
Actually, certain big things
Big
up out of
things.
the water.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty
big things.
I
I
just-
feel a real difference in the AC inside.
I'm very happy with the new insulation, and I think it'll help a lot.
Especially in the winter.
That's when it's
The
cold.
floor will not be near as cold.
You get
which
the
is a
north
good
wind
thing.
blowing, wood floor,
Yeah.
they don't match.
You know, it's hard to believe that the water was halfway up these stairs after Hurricane Harvey. And when those kind of things happen, you have things on your mind that need to be repaired constantly. Well, I'm so glad we were able to help John and Donna with a brand new air conditioning system, a great filtration system, new insulation that's mold and mildew resistant, and a nice big ramp to improve John's mobility out in the backyard. And I'll tell you, it's been a long time since I've seen a more positive couple like these two, and that's the way you can overcome any challenge that might come your way. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.